Not gonna lie, if I get 2 wet spots on my shirt during this record, pretend you don't see it. Moo. Let's get this podcast started. Welcome back to Not Gonna Lie, a Wave original brought to you by Dunkin. That's right. Do you know I had to fight for my life to get out of the house with this box intact? Now, is it a few munchkins short of when it arrived at my home? Yes. But I made it out with it, and that's what counts. It started with 50. There might be 20 left. I'm your host, Kylie Kelsey, longtime rule follower, noted baby wearer, and fan of fireworks. Happy 4th. The girls do not like fireworks. We're going to try to have some headphones available, and maybe we'll be able to see some from inside the house. That could be key, honestly. Coming up on today's episode, I'm going to take you through the highlights of our crazy Team 62 fundraising week down the shore, and to the thousands of people tagging me in the videos of Jason's banana hammock. I've seen it. And yes, I am going to talk about it. After that, I'm excited to be joined by an award-winning actress. And of course, someone I have no business speaking to, Priyanka Chopra Jonas. But first, on a brand new installment of Places Kylie has some business being, this week I can admit it, I did have some business being down the shore in Sea Isle for our incredible Shorebirds fundraiser for the Eagles Autism Foundation. It was crazy. And guys, we did it. We raised over $1 million. Record-setting year. We've had a record-setting year every single year. 5 years. Every year, record setting. Cool. And we had a lot of fun reaching that fundraising goal. We kicked things off with our Not Gonna Lie yoga class on the beach. Shout out to the real ones that signed up. Shout out to Cheryl for teaching the class. I genuinely didn't know yoga was supposed to be that hard. And by hard, I mean challenging in a way that it was exciting. I liked it. Then we had our main Shorebirds event at the Ocean Drive in Sea Isle City, where my husband decided to climb on top of a large chair reserved for the OD bouncers, rip off his shorts, and reveal his red, white, and blue banana hammock. Where was I when this clip happened? I'm going to tell you where I was. I was at home feeding our small child. Yep. Was it a strategic move to go and feed our child while intros were happening? Yes. Did I miss this on purpose? No. I didn't want to be there for the intros because that means I don't have to be introduced. By the time I was coming back, I had received a text message of the behind angle and proceeding to Magic Mike his shorts off. I have not seen this move before. This is not I don't know if he practiced. If he did, it was in with doors closed. I haven't seen this move. Am I bitter about that? A little bit. And I did know that the Speedo was happening because this bet has been in effect between Jason and Bo Allen for a very long time. I want to say 3 months that they have been on a weight loss journey. And I knew that the penalty was to wear a Speedo to the OD event. I also know that I've been feeding him donuts and buying baked goods when appropriate. And was it a little bit of sabotage? No. If it was, Bo Allen, you owe me some money. Because you're welcome. I am unsure of all of the parameters set forth during this bet. But what I will tell you is that he was so committed to this bit that he wore it the entire event, and he wore it in the poorhouse after the event, which is where we sort of tie the night together. We take our group photo. We hang out with the OD staff and the Eagles staff that are kind enough to volunteer. He wore it then. And then he got in our golf cart and wore it home. He wore it all the way home. I'm unsure where the breakaway shorts are. To be clear, I don't know. They might be off in the world now because he certainly didn't put them back on. I do think it's comical that I just asked you guys to stop putting drool emojis under my husband. And then he came out in a crop top and did breakaway shorts. I do see that. I wasn't trying to set you guys up for failure. I genuinely wasn't. It was a timely thing that I needed to address based on the thirst traps of my husband in a bluey two-piece in the south of France. And then he just went on and like continued to be sexy. I can't help that. Then we got to guest bartending, where I was rightfully behind the Shirley Temple bar, slinging Shirley Temples. I was back there with two bartenders, Queen Emma. She was with me. And I just went out there, to say hello, mostly to get a frozen Shirley Temple. And Jamie gave me a fuck around and find out bracelet. I love that. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie and I also saw each other last year, and she gave me a fuck off bracelet. So stay tuned. Next time I see Jamie, who knows what the bracelet will say. I love that. And I love that Jamie gets it. In terms of Team 62 at the Ocean Drive and Shorebirds and all of the things that unfolded, I mean, who knows how much we'll raise in year 6. It's exciting what we've been able to do in the last 5 years. It is with the help of the businesses in Sea Isle, the Ocean Drive, the Yacht Club of Sea Isle City, all of our sponsors that we've had over the years, all of the guys who come to guest bartend. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. And top of the list, also all of our volunteers from the Eagles, all of our volunteers from EAF. But really, the most obvious one that I think gets skipped over because it's the most obvious is my husband. I'm just super grateful that he's committed the last 5 years to continuing to raise the bar and continuing to set records, like I said, and to continue to give other guys the opportunity to feel the enthusiasm of the fans, to raise money, and to have such a massive impact on the fundraising for the Eagles Autism Foundation. So really shout out to my husband, because you did that. 5 years worth of hard work, and you look damn good doing it. So yeah, I said it. And that does it for places Kylie has some business being. Moving on, we just got some big news out of Philly. And I think it might be safe to say that NGL can take credit for it. No, I'm kidding. We know that this was probably a lot longer in the making, and it was just a really timely question that I asked Dawn Staley if she would ever be interested in the Philadelphia WNBA team. But just days after I talked to her, you see what I'm saying? It's officially happening. It wasn't us, but I'm cool with it. It adds to our list of manifestations. That's all I'm saying. Because I genuinely did not know about this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't know about it. Philly will become the WNBA's 18th team, and the first season is set for 2030. I'm so excited. I feel like I need to reconnect with Dawn Staley. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think that there's a little bit of controversy about who's going to own the team. Just saying, it would be really cool if it was female owned, but if you need additional female investors, maybe call me. Guys, here's the deal. Philadelphia is a passionate fan base, and I'm so excited for a WNBA team to be able to experience that level of passion. But also, I think we should recognize the fact that if someone else has bought into another city that is, I don't know, maybe one of our rivals, that maybe they shouldn't have to be so deeply ingrained in our sports culture. I am very excited to have the opportunity to not only go and watch WNBA games right here in Philadelphia, but also to bring my girlies, because they are due to be giants. And I say that being a giant myself, and maybe at least one of them will be into basketball. That would be cool. There's also been a lot of ideas thrown out there for the potential name of Philly's WNBA team. And I got to say something to the people pitching names like the Philadelphia 76ers, the Liberty Bells, and the 70 Sisters. Jesus, that's so bad. I think it's important to recognize that we do not need to lean into a female version of a name. That we can just lean into badass and let it be, you know? I'll tell you the one name that I heard that I am okay with. And that would be the Philadelphia Broads. And I'm going to tell you why. Because in Philadelphia, Broad is Broad Street, obviously, that runs through the center of the city. But the last time Broads was used in a name for a professional team in the city was the Broad Street Bullies, which was in reference to an era of the Flyers. And they were badasses. They were busting out fights left and right. They were handling business on the ice. So to me, being from here, Broads sounds like powerful. I like it. Bells, not so much. Let's not do that. We don't need to be like delicate, dainty. We can be feminine and girly and still be badasses. Okay. There's other names I do like, the Philadelphia Rage, which the Rage was led by Dawn Staley in 1996. So it makes sense that we would have the Rage back. And also, let's be real, we do have some rage here in Philadelphia. Well, now that that's been addressed, it's time for my conversation with Priyanka Chopra Jonas. I actually taped this from my brand new Shore House set. Let me know what you guys think. Also, fair warning, there's a high probability a toddler crashes this set in the future. So, because it is a bedroom at our beach house. But first, Dunkin. I've talked about my love for Dunkin's butter pecan iced coffee so much on this show. I've debated renaming it to Not Gonna Lie with Butter Pecan. Kind of awesome, right? Seriously, I might do it. However, there's one thing stopping me. It wouldn't be fair to one of my new loves at Dunkin', their mango pineapple refresher with a green tea base. God, that's a good summer drink. It is so refreshing. It's kind of tart and it's sweet, but it's a little tea, if you catch my drift. And you can give it a try right now. Head to your local Dunkin' or go right into the Dunkin' app and customize your own refresher by combining your favorite flavors and drink bases. It's so customizable. You can do whatever you want. With flavors like strawberry dragon fruit, mango pineapple, and tropical guava, you can't go wrong. Treat yourself with exactly what you've been craving. This summer, head to Dunkin' to build your refresher your way. Mix and match your favorite flavors and mixers to craft the perfect sip. She's an award-winning actress and global sensation from Bollywood to Hollywood. She's also on quite possibly every list of the most influential and powerful people in the world. Plus, she's an advocate for girls' health and education in India, a fellow mom, and now she's not going to lie. Priyanka Chopra Jonas, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm such a fan of your show. I love what you do on the show and I love your conversations. I was so excited to come on.
Thank you. We are so excited to have you. You're yet another guest I have no business talking to. And I'm excited because we also have the girl mom thing going on.
Yes, we do.
Not going to lie, Priyanka, I was just watching The Tonight Show. And as a mom, when you were talking about balancing your shoots, long flights, your husband's work, your daughter's school, pretty much everything, I felt that deep in my bones. I've always said I kind of thrive in chaos. Do you prefer that level of commitment and chaos?
You know, I used to think that. And maybe this was in my 30s and I was like, or my 20s where I was like, I thrive in chaos. And when shit's just thrown at me from every direction is when I can get laser focused and burn the candle on both ends. But now as I'm in my 40s, I like having a plan. I like being organized. I like lists. I like them checked off. I like figuring out what the entire day for everyone in our family is before I leave my house. So
That sounds so peaceful.
It's not.
Now, do you guys get a little bit of a break in the summer?
I did this year. I'm filming a movie in India after many, many years. So I was flying back and forth, and my husband, Nick, was on Broadway, and he just finished his show yesterday, actually. Um, so we kind of moved to New York. We live in LA usually, and we moved to New York, and it's easier to fly to Asia from New York than it is California.
Speaking of travel, do you have any travel tips for kids? Because that is one thing
Yes.
that
Yes.
I am very much struggling with. It's something that almost holds me back, like the anxiety of traveling with kids
Yes.
almost holds me back from traveling more with them.
So a few things definitely is the more you do it, the more they get used to it.
Perfect.
So the more you
Rip it off like a
kind of-
Band-Aid.
that you have to. You just have to put them in, load them in the car, take them to the airport. I pick her up from bed when she's sleeping on my shoulder, put her in the car seat, get to the airport at 4 a.m. in the morning, and she'll wake up and she'll look around and she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm going back to New York from India." And then, she'll put her head on my shoulder and she'll wake up and, what I like to do with them. But I also travel with one child. You travel with four. So that's like that.
Yeah, but I would never go without man-to-man coverage.
Right. You have to have coverage.
Yes,
Each
no.
one has to have coverage. Absolutely.
Yes.
So that's crucial. One. Second of all, if they're up and they're up when it's daytime, like I'm talking about international travel. If it's daytime in the country you're going to, let them stay up, even if it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Encourage it, in fact. You got to push them just a little bit so that they don't jet lag as much. Second, entertainment. And that doesn't mean you have to take like loads of toys and stuff like that. I have like little things in my bag. Like my daughter's obsessed with Moana. So I have little Moana, little Minnie, little like Hey, little Pua. And they're all in my bag. And she just has imaginative play. I just take out one at a time. Or like, little coloring books, or I wear a squish ball. Like just toddlers don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Like little entertainment things. And so I do that a lot. And I bought this and try to make everything fun, like an adventure. Also, like this is not mundane. So now you get to pick where is our gate? Let's find the number. And she loves Moana, so she's a wayfinder. So I give her the responsibility of finding us, taking us to our gate.
That's perfect. I'd love to talk to you about your amazing career, starting with your brand new movie, Heads of State. It's available to stream now on Prime Video. If it wasn't already clear from your previous roles, you are a full-on action star. I actually saw you doing a little fight scene with Jimmy Fallon.
Oh yeah, I was trying to teach him how to fake fight, movie fight. It's different than real fight.
It seems like a very quick lesson that was very efficient, and you guys absolutely nailed it. The slow-mo was top tier. Of all the genres you've acted throughout your career, is action your favorite?
I look good with a gun in my hand. What do I say? So I'm kind of like, people like me in that part. So a lot of stuff comes to me, which is, always saving the guys and like making sure that they're protected. And
if you're a badass, you're a badass.
Yeah. What can I say? So I love that. And I think I enjoy stunts and I enjoy the adrenaline and the technique of action very much. I think that, it's such an incredible responsibility within those 5 to 7 seconds to make it look real, but at the same time, not hurt your co-actor. And in Heads of State, I do some brutal fighting, like I break necks and stuff.
What was the most exciting stunt you did?
On this job?
Yes.
On Heads of State? There's this one sequence where I run through a gallery and it's one shot, just like Rambo, just like taking out people. And it took a lot of choreography and I had to break down this door. So I kicked this door down. And it was really funny. It was an actual door on hinges and I just kept kicking it down and my leg would not reach as high as we wanted it to. So you couldn't see it in the camera. And they wanted the force to be so much that the door like comes off its hinges. Like that's how strong I had to kick. So the first time I did it, I was like, okay, fine. Second time, by the fourth time, my thighs were about to give in. Like I may do stunts for a living, but like, don't make me kick down a like old ancient wooden door. in the UK, and where it's like actual real wood. And then suddenly somebody said after the fourth take, and I'm like, oh, bring me Advil. They're like, you know what? We could just attach a wire to it and pull it when you kick it. And I was like,
Like,
yeah.
no, guys, the second take wasn't worth that.
I was like, yeah, we could, couldn't we?
You know what? Better late than never.
Yes. So eventually they helped me so that it looks extra strong. But that was really funny. That was one of my favorites because I felt really accomplished because I actually, the first two takes, it was really strong. And I was like, I'm tough. I'm strong. So I felt really good about it. But yeah, we didn't need to do it.
Before all of your Hollywood stardom, you were dominating the Bollywood box office since literally 2002. For anyone listening who isn't as familiar with Bollywood movies and wants to get into it, what movies would you have them start with?
Ooh. I would say you should go onto Amazon Prime and Netflix and see some of the newer movies that have come out. I feel like the evolution of Bollywood, we have every genre. People think Bollywood is one genre. In fact, I saw it somewhere where, there were different genres for movies, and I can't remember what platform this was. There was action, comedy, Bollywood, as if it's like a genre. But Bollywood's not. It's basically the association with the Bollywood movies, the, big set pieces, the dance numbers, the action scene, the drama, like all of it together. And yes, that's what we call the masala movie. But we have so many genres of film, so many kind of filmmakers that if you go on to a path of exploration, it'll be really fun. But one of my movies, which I really like, is called Dil Dhadakne Do, and it's DDD. You can just Google that. But it's really fun because it's about a family and the pretenses that they keep up. And it's a romantic, wholesome, like comedy, dramedy, and just a family movie, great songs, and a cute dog. It's really fun.
That sounds perfect. One more thing about movies, because specifically movies made in India, I've mentioned on the show before, but my husband has put on the movie RRR so many times.
Oh, yeah.
So many times that our girls now request the dance scene.
Oh,
because they are in love with it, which is totally understandable.
They do it?
It's incredible.
They
stand in the middle of the living room and they try to do it.
Because I can't do it. I've tried it for years, since it came out. It's insane.
It's so catchy, first of all.
Amazing.
And it is an incredible production.
Oh, I love that. I know that filmmaker well. I'll tell him you said that.
The only issue is,
yeah,
said a few times he has started it from the beginning.
Oh my gosh.
With our kids in the room. And I've had to override with the Apple remote on my phone to be like, nope, no,
not this part. No part.
But has your daughter watched your dance scene in your movies and been drawn to a particular one, or do you have one that's your favorite?
Of mine?
Yes.
Oh, I have done some fun dance songs in the past, and my husband actually does a show and tell once in a while when we have friends. He'll randomly put it on YouTube, and it's slightly embarrassing, but we're like, oh, see this song. But I don't think that's actually a really good question. I don't think my daughter has seen me or in any of my songs. I'm gonna show her one and then see what she says.
Now, I don't know about you, but Frozen is a top contender.
Oh my God, huge.
And I know that you voiced Elsa.
Yes, I did in Hindi.
Yes. How has Frozen taken over your household?
Yes, Frozen, Moana, and Minnie Mouse. These are our three favorite characters. Daisy sometimes will get a cameo here and there, but
sure.
It's predominantly
from Minnie Bowtunes.
Yes, from Minnie Bowtunes, and
naturally
only, and also is a fan of Lilo and Stitch now with Lilo and Stitch 2.
We started the series.
Yeah,
great. Here and there, they will pick it. Yes.
So we're trying to diversify in what we watch, but the princesses are dominating at the moment.
I think we're all living parallel lives.
It really is the same thing.
Speaking of Disney movies, I'm not going to lie, as someone who grew up on Disney Channel at the same time that your husband and his brothers were on there, I have to admit, I've seen a lot of their early stuff. I'm talking Camp Rock 2, Jonas. Have you gone back and watched any of his throwback stuff?
So both of us didn't know very much about each other's careers before we went. We knew of each other, maybe. Like, of course, I knew of the Jonas Brothers, but I didn't like different generation. I didn't know, you know. And so we did this thing when we got married where we just we did a show and tell of each other's careers with each other. So we sit with a bottle of wine and just show each other a clip from stuff we've done. So because of that, I have seen Jonas. I think that show is amazing. I've seen Married to Jonas, which I love. Camp Rock, not as much. I'm very excited about the new Camp Rock movie. And I think that, his earlier stuff is just so fun. And and he's seen some of mine like that as well. So
now I think everyone in the world must know this about me already, but I met my husband on Tinder, which makes me appreciate the fact that you guys met through a DM.
Yeah, on Twitter.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I did see that you have shared the pickup line used by him, which I believe you said was, people said we should meet.
People said we should, was it people or I think it was
Friends.
Common friends. Yeah. Like we have common friends and I've heard we should meet. And it was just so Nick now that I know him, but just so confident and dry and direct. You know, there's something really cool about that. And then we just never stopped texting. But it took about a year for us to actually, do something
Connect.
about it. Yeah, connect.
Sure.
We were both in complicated situations.
How did those early dates go when you met in person?
So the first time I was late by 45 minutes and he doesn't let me live it down because he was like, I was waiting there for 45 minutes and I was just about to leave and I was filming. He thinks that's a lie, but I literally came from set. So, we've just decided to agree to disagree on our versions of this story, but it was really embarrassing. I felt really bad making him wait for 45 minutes. But, and then the end of the night, we went back to my place, but just to hang out because we were at the Carlisle and it was closing. And I told him my mom's home. So, she might be up. I forgot to tell my mom that I was bringing a boy back and we were sharing the apartment at that time. So my mom was laid out on the couch watching SVU, having snacks.
That's amazing.
When I walked in with Nick, she was so mad at me.
That is incredible.
She ran to her bedroom. She was like, you should have told me. It was 1:00 in the morning. She was like, you should have told me somebody was coming over. While she's putting her lipstick, she's like, I'm not coming back out. I was like, why are you wearing a lipstick?
So Nick met your mom on the first date?
Yeah. I don't think we thought it was a date. We were going to the Met Gala together because we were both going with the same brand, Ralph Lauren. And they said, you're two of the singles. Do you guys want to just walk the carpet together? And I don't even know. I've never done that before. It's such a weird thing to say yes to with someone you don't know at all. But I don't know why we both did. And because we were going to go together, we kind of were like, let's just meet. So I don't think it was a date. We met to kind of see what it was.
Sure. Test the waters, dip your toes in.
Yeah, kind of like that. And then he gave me a hug at the end of the night. And I thought I really royally screwed it up. Because he just went like that and he patted me on the back twice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Back pat. The back pat.
I got
the friend pat.
Like
the back, everybody knows the back pat is like the friend pat.
That's what I thought. And then we're married.
Is that not what he
No, that's not what happened. I thought it was because I was 45 minutes late. He's like, oh, she's a diva, whatever. And I was like, I got a back pat at the end of the night. And I remember like discussing this with my best friends the next day. I was like, what does this mean? Like, should I be texting him now? Is it awkward? Am I friend zoned? Like, it was a whole conversation. And then for about a year, we just kind of texted. We were both traveling till we went out for a date, a proper date, and then never stopped dating.
Maybe the good luck charm is the 45-minute threshold, because when I met my husband for the first time in person, after 45 minutes, he fell asleep on the bar table. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the 45-minute. Yeah, I feel like that might be what it is.
That's a good window. You're right.
Previously on the Dunkin Chronicles. Jason, quick! I'm in labor. Where do you think I am? I'm at Dunkin. And now part 2.
Interior Dunkin, Ardmore, October 2019. Kylie's on a makeshift hospital bed constructed of donut boxes, squeezing her husband Jason's hand into oblivion while he holds a donut in the other. Dr. Colleen is coaching Kylie through her Dunkin labor.
Holy munchkins, that hurts! I can't believe I'm giving birth in this Dunkin right now. My life will definitely never get crazier than this.
I can see her head. Push.
Do you promise I can have butter pecan when she's out?
You can have a butter pecan and a box of munchkins when she's out. One more push. This is all the motivation Kylie needed. Suddenly, the first Kelsey baby is born. Patty and Jason hold their beautiful baby girl.
What should we name her? I can't even think straight right now.
Dr. Colleen hands Kylie her butter pecan iced coffee as promised. She takes a sip. Her mind is suddenly clear.
Let's name her Wyatt. Wyatt Butter Pecan Kelsey.
Jason laughs as if Kylie is joking. She stares back at him. She's not joking.
Well, I'd love to go back to your work life a little bit, because apart from your acting career, you've also dedicated so much of your life to philanthropy. Specifically, I commend you on your focus on education as well, because I always say, like, kids are so they have this thirst for knowledge, right? And they want to learn, and you can excite them in their learning, but everyone should be able to get an education, and no one can ever take your education from you. Once you've learned something, no one can take that away. So it's such an intangible that we should value, and for you to be able to create those opportunities and support the organizations creating those opportunities is incredible. Are there any initiatives or projects that you're working on right now that you can share?
Well, I consistently work with UNICEF, and I also have been working on with my foundation. It's for health and education. We fund people who want, like, because my parents were doctors, I always wanted to help with that, with like medical procedures you can't afford, and it was always privately funded. But yeah, I try to lend myself wherever I can. I was just thinking about, when you were talking about education, I remember I had to drop out of high school because my career just took off. And I remember going to, like, meeting some kids, and I think this was in a village in India. And there were some girls who were, pulled out of school because after 4th grade, like, what's the point? You're going to get married. We don't need to spend money on sending you to school. And through UNICEF and the nonprofits, she went back to school. She fought with her parents to not get married, went back to school. The right that a child has to open their mind by attending school, like, I know a lot of us take that for granted, but for some children, it is the most coveted thing in their lives that'll take them out of the cycle that they're stuck in. And that was really moving to me. She changed her parents' life. She ended up getting a job. Her mom was a tailor. She ended up buying sewing machines for her, new sewing machines for her parents. She created an income, a renewed income flow for both of them, eventually funded their medical bills. And all this because she said, no, I'm not going to get married and go back to school. Like, the power of that for so many kids around the world. So I was very moved by that very early in my life, of meeting a lot of children who just wanted to go to school. So access to education became a really big part of my advocacy.
That's incredible. Now, I'd love to take some time to get back into motherhood a little bit, especially because like I said, fellow girl mom. I always tell my listeners I will never lie to them, but I will lie to my children. I I recently shared that I told the kids that the TV in my new minivan only works for long car rides, so that we didn't have to pretend that we were going to watch TV in the car. My
I said
husband,
the internet's not working because she understands that.
My husband has also told them that cats are poisonous to get them to stop asking for a cat. That one, I was a little skeptical on, because I was like, they're going to go to school and tell other kids this, right? It's fine.
It's fine. That's amazing.
What are some of the obviously, like you said, the internet's not working. Yeah. What are some of the other lies that
never works in our house?
It's crazy how that happens, right?
Never works in our house. It's
so strange.
Only Sunday or Saturday evenings during dinner.
That's not.
But definitely little things like that where, let me think, what are little lies? The other day, my daughter is so sassy, and I know she's me, so it's even more annoying because I can't blame anyone else for her attitude. And she's like, "No, mama, this is mine, and I'm going to keep it in my bedroom." And I was like, "I'm your mama. If you don't change your attitude, miss, I'm keeping this in my room and you don't get it back." And she huffed and she puffed and she walked around. She was like, "But it's mine." And I said, "I'm your mom. I can take away everything." And she goes, her big eyes just went, I was like, "I'm so sorry."
It was a realization. She was like, "Oh no."
I know. She, it was such a revelation to her because, she's the most precious thing in our lives. And it was such a miracle anyway that she gets away with murder with me. So I try. But the internet is one of my big lies. Oh, and with food as well. She wants to be as old as Moana, and my daughter was a preemie baby. So I'm one of those NICU moms that is still obsessed with her nutrition. So I have to make sure each meal, she gets it in. Even though my pediatrician said I need to stop obsessing over it, I can't help it because she was so tiny when she was born.
Did I hear correctly that it was 110 days?
Mm-hmm.
That is impressive.
The entire
What a fighter, girl.
Yeah, she really fought and clawed her way into life. And I have so much admiration for her. So she gets away with anything with me, honestly. I'm just like, yes, take it. It's yours.
Everything,
whatever you need.
Do you want things out of my room too?
She does. She comes into my closet. She calls it the magic closet. She'll wear my shoes, walk out. She'll take my bag, walk out.
She would get along with our third.
Yeah.
She'll point to anyone's belt bag and be like, "You have wake up?" And I'm like, "No, you're 2 years old. You can't have makeup. I have wake up on my lips." And I'm like, "No, you cannot. No, you may not."
Cute.
So now naturally,
give her a lip balm.
She has a lip balm in my purse that is designated as hers. And you can just open it up because it's absolutely destroyed. Mine is mine's nice. There's dirt around her rim, little nail marks in it. I'm like, it's easy to tell the difference.
Yes, I totally know which one's my daughter's too. I keep it for her, and she calls it Yipik. Yesterday, she said to Nick, we were at dinner, and he was wearing a suit, and she said to him, "Gaga, you look like a prince. I want to dance with you." And she just picked him up at dinner, and they were dancing for 10 minutes. It was so sweet. At the Met, she said to me, "Mama and Gaga are going to a ball."
Oh, it's the best. I just want to see life through their eyes for a little bit.
Yeah. I only do that. It's my escape. If I'm having a shitty day, that's what I do. I come back home to my daughter and my husband. I come back home, especially to her, and I'll just throw my bag, my shoes, whatever, and I just snuggle into her. And she'll say, "Oh, mama." She'll fight it, and I'll not let her go. And then, she'll yell at me, and then she'll get busy, and then I get busy with her, and everything is okay in the world.
I just recently had a moment of a very grounding moment because our oldest went up to the baby and said, "Tell me everything. Tell me all the things." And I was like, oh gosh. And so usually when I come back to her, if it's we've had a long day apart, or even if I'm just busy doing something and I come back and she's sitting on the couch coloring or doing her practice books, or even just watching a show, I'll come back in and I'll be like, "Tell me everything." And she's I'm like, "Tell me all the things." And so to watch her do it to the baby, I was like,
oh, That is so sweet.
It hits you right in the heart. I've said it before, and I really have quadrupled down at this point. When we found out we were having our fourth daughter, my husband was meant to have all girls. He's an outstanding girl dad. He really has embraced it fully, and the girls are absolutely in love with him. And I think that really just strikes a chord that I don't think he ever knew he could feel. And it's been incredible to watch him with them. What's it been like for you to experience your husband as a girl dad?
Oh, it's so sweet. When like this morning when I was leaving for press, 7 a.m, the two of them were snuggled in bed together. And I was just like, I stood there for a second and I was like, oh, both these curly tops. And that's my world. And just, seeing him be so protective of her. And we divide our parenting responsibilities where, he does all the paperwork, the finances, the legals, the all of that stuff that I can't look at. And he handle things for us. So it just makes my life and hers so easy. And I just love seeing him in that position. He was always like that with me as well, honestly. I've kind of seen him slip into being this is my family and I take care of them with her. And it's really beautiful to watch.
Now, we've also talked a lot about on the podcast about Funcles.
Yeah.
Because
Funcles. They're
right?
all real fun.
How are they doing? How are the Funcles in your family?
They're great. My brother, my brother's constantly supplying her with Indian spicy snacks that she loves. It's like sour candy made out of tamarind and proper spice and so much sugar. So if he gives it to her in the evening, she's awake till 10:30 at night. So that's really cute. Joe is Uncle Go, which is so cute. Uncle Go. Uncle Go. Kevy's Kevy. Danny, his wife, is Dee. And Franklin is Typio. I don't know. Typio was her word for teddy bear. And then she just called him that. So cute.
That is so sweet.
Yeah.
I have one last question for you. I love to ask my fellow mom guests this. What's the best piece of motherhood advice that you've ever received? Or what's your go-to advice that you give other moms?
I think the really important motherhood advice that I got was to listen to her and always believe her. Believe your kids when they say something. And, it's very easy for us to sometimes be like, I see other moms do it where they're like, I don't know where this came from or why she's saying that. But there's always some element of truth behind it, especially when they do it before falling asleep or, in those truth moments when they're bonding with you. And that was really advice that I locked into my head. I was like, okay, always listen and always believe them. So I just let her talk and listen to her and actually engage with her. And I think your relationship with your kid, the bond becomes so strong because they feel heard.
That is so beautiful. I cannot thank you enough for joining me today. We are so excited that you came on for an episode of Not Gonna Lie. And thank you for all of your work in philanthropy. And I cannot emphasize enough after watching some Bollywood films that you saying that it is put into a genre on streaming services, and you also pointing out that it is song, dance, acting, this sort of next level theatrics. I mean, it's beyond a triple threat. It's beyond impressive. And then I'm so excited for your movie coming now available on Amazon Prime.
On Prime.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Please watch it with your friends and family. It's such a fun ride. It's it's on your TV. So post dinner, that's
Easy.
the routine in our family is post dinner, we sit down and watch a movie together. And this is one of those movies you want to see with your friends. And it's just, and it's 4th of July weekend. So everyone's together anyway. So have a good time with this one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that's a wrap on another episode of Not Gonna Lie. You can find even more clips from my longer conversation with Priyanka on my YouTube channel on More Shit Monday. Make sure you watch her new movie, Heads of State, out now on Prime Video. I'll be back next Thursday with a brand new episode. Follow Not Gonna Lie on all social media at NGL with Kylie. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Not Gonna Lie is a Wave original brought to you by Dunkin. Thank you to the real ones for tuning in.